what does find my center mean to me? I'm going to give you one way. It has me looking for the beauty in the day. We'll find what we're looking for. The idea is that we get back here. We get back home. Hey, it's Adam, and you're listening to The Adam Cobb Show. Weekly content devoted to all things fitness, finding your center, and fumbling through fatherhood. Thank you for taking the time to tune in. We hope this is a space that you come to, that you can feel connected. We're better together. Please subscribe and follow all of our social channels so you don't miss a thing. Let's listen to today's episode. Welcome to the Adam Cobb Show. I'm your host, Adam Cobb, and the audio engineer for this show, the Adam Cobb Show, is Gene. Gene's right behind the camera. He's amazing. He creates incredible space for me just to be me, and for Al just to be Al, and I'm really grateful for him. And as I finished recording one episode just now, Gene asked a question and he said, what's this like one line a day journal over here? Because I don't have one. I don't have two, but I have three. And I thought, hold on, this is important. So I'm going to share this with you right now. But as I think about ways to help people find their center, and how do you find your center? What does that even mean, right? For me, it means get back to this. Okay, I had a father figure in my life, and he's my Uncle Joe, and he'll always be my Uncle Joe. But 20 years ago, my Uncle Joe, I was doing some fun entertainment stuff in New York, and he said, why don't you come work with me? I'll teach you everything I know. You know, move back to Massachusetts, and I'll teach you everything I know. Okay. And he was a big businessman. So I went ahead and I moved back to Massachusetts on faith because I loved my Uncle Joe. And he bought this medical device company, or this medical equipment company. And he had me like doing sales for a medical equipment company, learning everything about CPAPs and nebulizers and all these things. But I was a sales guy. And I remember 3 months being on the job in Massachusetts for my Uncle Joe. And I was around the Cape Cod area. For anybody that's familiar. Are you familiar? Cape Cod area? No. It's a great area. I recommend it. I recommend visiting all 18 lighthouses in the Cape Cod, which is a tour you can do on your own. It was really fun. My cousin and I did that. But my Uncle Joe called me into the office after 3 months of doing sales for this company. And I remember when he invited me in, he said, he slammed the door shut. He said, sit down. And I was really nervous. And then he closed his blinds. So the blinds are closed to his office. He has me sit down across from him, and he shuts the lights out. Now I'm nervous. I have no idea what's going to happen. I'm thinking Uncle Joe's mad at me. Maybe I did something terrible. Maybe I botched a sale. I didn't meet his expectations. And he said, close your eyes. And I said, oh boy, this is not good. From there, he said, I'm not teaching you sales. My hope is that after these 2 years, I didn't call you from New York City doing some fun stuff as a 20-something-year-old to come here, work with me to teach you sales. I wanted to teach you how to find your center. So over 2 years, we would meditate, we would do guided imagery, we would do visualizations, and we would do all these things to be able to train the brain and to train the mind, but more importantly, find my center. Well, just short of 2 years, Uncle Joe had a heart attack in the middle of the night, and he passed away. And it was the hardest time I can ever remember. It was, probably 3 to 4 months of absolute depression. And so sad, it was like a father figure died, and he was also became a mentor. He was such an incredible person. Well, part of why he passed was some health complications. So I thought, okay, I'm going to take this principle of find your center, and I'm going to move back to New York, in the biggest city of all, because they say if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. And I thought, well, if you can find your center there, then what? Then you can find your center anywhere. So I'm going to go back to New York City. I'm going to help you find your center, and I'm going to get all the certifications I need in the fitness part of things, so I can add the nutrition and I can add the movement part. Okay. But I'm going to teach how to find your center. And that's how this whole find your center came about. So it's been an honoring of my Uncle Joe for 20 plus years. How do you help people find their center? And that comes from breath work, comes from meditation, guided imagery. That can come from parts of like a faith practice, a spiritual practice, right? What is finding your center? And part of it is uncovering, like, what does find your center mean to you? I'm going to put Gene on the spot right now. Gene, what does find your center mean to you? Who does this to their like audio engineer? Probably no one, but this is how we do it. What does find your center mean to you, Gene? I want you to be thinking about this right now. So Gene's thinking, but you have your notebook open, please. And right, yes or yes, right? And you start to write down, what does find my center mean to me? Okay. And what does that mean? So Gene, do you have an answer?
I think it's coming to a place where I'm not anxious about either the future or the past, but I'm able to just be in the moment.
Beautiful. So Gene said to be in the moment, where he's not anxious about the future or the past, but he's just in the moment, right? Some people refer to that as being in the pocket. Okay. So I'm going to give you one way. And I would say for me, the way that has really helped me find my center, right? There's many ways, and I'm going to share that over this show's history. I want to share ways. I want to have literally someone sitting in the seat, and I want to coach them, right? And I thought about this since last week, since we were together. And if you're watching and interested in listening, and you want to be on the show, and you want to get coached by me live on the show, that could be something that we could offer, and it could be really fun. Bring a tissue box, right? It can be hard work and it can be deep work, but the idea is that we get back here. We get back home. Okay. One of the ways that I come back home to myself and I find my center is the question Gene prompted this episode with, which was, what is this 1 line a day? Okay. This 1 line a day journal is a gift from my partner, Daisy, for my birthday. That was yesterday. And she knew that I was running out. Okay. So I have 2 other ones here. These are full. And what does this even mean? Because you might not even know what this is. Well, when you open this up, okay. Can the camera pick this up, you think? Yeah? Okay, great. You can see, hopefully, that it's a small page. Okay. It's a very small page. And it has about 5 lines on it, okay? And it has 5 lines on top of 5 lines, on top of 5 lines, on top of 5 lines, on top of 5 lines. And it's 5 years stacked on top of each other, okay? So if you filled in 2024 here, and you wrote down something simple like, what are you grateful for? And then next year, you came around to, for example, April 5th, and you wrote below it, one thing you're grateful for, you can simply look up and go, what was I grateful for last year? Okay. It's a beautiful practice. And I have now filled up 10 years of doing this. And that's what that means. So that's why Daisy bought me this for my birthday, because she knew I was coming to my 10-year mark here. So I'll be starting this January 1st. And so you get the concept, right? 1 line a day, real simple. And it's for you, right? It's the idea of like, how do I get this out? And that's the way I find my center, by journaling, by putting pen to paper, and I get connected to something that's, that's outside of me. I get connected to that. And what's been really beautiful in a world that this show is very much about connection, right? We're not fumbling through fatherhood in isolation. We're doing it together. We're better together. This is a connection tool for me. When you go through 10 years I can simply look right now. I can look up, what did I do today, July 18th in 2014? And I can turn to that page and I can see, let's just do it. I did not plan on doing this. So let's just do it. Let's go. Okay. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, well, that one's really personal. I can't share it. The facts are, there are a lot of quotes in here. There are, for example, on today in 2016, this is great. This is incredible. That's great. I had a dear friend named Landry. Shout out to Landry, who's at the time a client. He was playing for Toronto Raptors, and now Landry, you're the GM of the Atlanta Hawks. You're a legend. You're the youngest GM, I think, in NBA history. You're amazing. But right here, you put down. You had texted me back in quotes. It worked, and it worked, and I know what that meant. And you probably know what that meant, but I'm able to then go to you and reach out to you and go, hey, in 2016, do you remember when you said blah, blah, blah? And we can have a laugh about that. And what does that do? That brings that person back into your life, that memorializes that moment. And it's hard to keep track of things like special moments, even as special as they are. You know, your kid for the first time says this or that, and you just write it down, you know? So when it comes to finding your center, one of my favorite ways to do it and easiest ways is buying one of these 5-year journals, 1 line a day. You keep it really simple, and you write down either something you're grateful for or my practice, my personal practice that I shared in my TEDx talk called Live by Design, Not by Default. We can link that if you want to check it out. And it's simply, I write down my BID, which is the beauty in the day, the beauty in the day. And I try to do this at night, and I think about, right, oftentimes there's a lot of things in our mind, but I think about what was the beauty in my day? And I write that down. And what does that do? That helps me think about like the beauty in the day. It helps me get that beauty in the day out on paper, right? I record it. And then I go to bed with that beauty of the day, you know, in my head. And I really believe that helps. I'm a great sleeper. I think it increases quality, right? Quality of sleep. And who's not looking for a really deep rest, right? A really beautiful quality sleep. And also, because I'm doing it, I'm thinking about beauty of the day, and I know I'm going to journal it later that day. It has me looking for the beauty in the day. You know, we know like we'll find what we're looking for, right? Like, what are you looking for? When you start to look for beauty and you look for the beauty in the day, it could be a smile. It could be recently an older, I'd say they were in their 90s, and a husband just put his hand on the spot on his wife's back. They were walking on the sidewalk, and something happened, and he put his hand right on that spot on his wife's back that she found comfort. And I saw that, and I thought that was a beautiful moment. You know, that was a 50-year marriage maybe, and they know each other. And I thought that's the beauty in the day today. So it could be anything. The sounds of the ocean, it taps into our senses. So I want to encourage you, Gene, to get one of these, okay? A 1 line a day. And you start to get, again, what's in here, out here, and jot it down. And remember, it's a connection tool, right? Also, it gets you connected to those people. You know, certain people might be in your life now and they won't be in 10 years. You know, but they can still be good friends. You can still be neighbors, so to speak, because you can still share an experience and a place in your heads and in your hearts, right? It doesn't always have to be a physical location. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed the response. We'll be quizzing G next time and also quizzing you. So I hope that you go out, get and I'm not getting endorsed by these 1 line a day people. But I would get so much joy out of hearing from you that you picked up one of these journals and you started a BID practice or a one line a day practice, because it will truly change your life and it will help you find your center. This is Adam signing out, the Adam Cobb Show. I'll say cheers. Cheers with water. That's been my sign out for many years. And I'll see you soon. Thanks for spending time with me.